Hello friends, Stephen Bedall here. In this video, we're going to explore some of Cubase's powerful tools for writing chord progressions, including the chord pads and the chord track. Whether you're using a MIDI keyboard or just a mouse, by the end of this video, you'll be building solid chord progressions in minutes. Let's dive right in.
So the first thing I'll do here in this session is load up a virtual instrument. Let's choose Hellion Sonic, and maybe we'll use the free lo-fi piano instrument. Now with the lo-fi piano instrument selected, we can show or hide the chord pads by hitting Command or Control if you're on a PC, plus Shift plus C. And these chord pads here can be used for any virtual instrument that you have loaded up in your session. So right now, if I click any of these pads, they will trigger our lo-fi piano instrument. Now, there are quite a few different chord pad presets. Right now, we're looking at the default preset. But if we click on this preset browser button, then we can load up a different preset and there's plenty to choose from. Let's try Autumn Breeze. Great, that sounds really nice. You'll notice that there's different colors on the bottom of some of these pads. Basically what this means is when we choose a pad, let's say F minor 7th, other pads that show up in green are ones that will sound the most natural to transition to. Whereas the ones in red might sound a little less so. So let's go ahead and build a chord progression using these pads. I think what'll work best here is to find a beat loop to use first. Let's come over to our loops and samples, maybe something chill like this. Cool, so let's click and drag that loop into our session. And now that I've got this loop in the session, there's a number of different ways that we can record or even just drag these chord pads into the arrangement. So I can just click this F minor 7th chord pad, for example, and drag it right into the lo-fi piano track. Let's do the same for G minor 7th, and maybe we'll move to A flat major 7th. And as you can see, it instantly converts those chord pads to MIDI. So that sounds cool, but there is so many different tools that we have here to help us make this chord progression sound more interesting. For instance, we can add or reduce the amount of tension on any given pad by using these right or left arrows here. So we could take this F minor 7th pad and we can add the 9th. Maybe let's come over to the A flat major 7th here. We can add a 9th to that as well. We can also choose different voicings by hitting the up or down arrows. We can also easily change the chord on any pad by hitting Enter, and that'll bring up the chord editor window. So this E flat 7th here, for example, I'll hit Enter, and as you can see, we can change the root note, chord type, tension, and bass note. So I could take this E flat 7th here and change it to whatever I want. We can also transpose all of these chords at once by changing the root key. The root key is over here on the left of the menu. Let's click it and transpose everything up to E. Also important to note is that these blue keys here on our piano roll, below the pads, these are the notes on my MIDI keyboard that these pads are assigned to. I'm going to hit record and throw down a chord progression. Let's see what happens. Here we go.
Now, I want to show you another incredibly useful tool that we have here in Cubase, and that is the chord track. And I'll show you how you can use it with the chord pads. Let's say you have an audio recording. We'll drag in this acoustic guitar loop as an example, which sounds like this. What we can do here is start a new track, and under More Tracks, we'll select Chord Track. And now we can simply drag this audio region into our chord track. And what happens is that Cubase analyzes the audio and outlines the chords being used in this guitar progression. With these chords selected, I can drag them into my lo-fi piano track, and instantly, just like that, I've got a piano accompanying this guitar. So let's pull up our chord pads again. And here's where things get really interesting. What we'll do here is hit this button and select all, and let's delete these chord pads. and I'm going to replace them with the chords of this progression. So let's select all of these, and we can just drag them into the pads. And just like I did before, I can make some adjustments to them. Maybe I'll change this F to an F9, this A minor to an A minor 7th. And if we come over to this player mode menu here, let's click this. Let's change this from plain chords to pattern. And from here, we've got all sorts of really cool presets. This one's called Beautiful Mind. So now if I hit any of these chord pads, it sounds like this. And there's all sorts of different patterns we can use. There's tons of options. Let's hear how this sounds with our acoustic guitar. And notice this MIDI up here. When we click into it, we can see that that pattern is represented here in the MIDI as well. One last thing to mention is the step input function, which is really useful. To enable step input, we hit this button right here, and you'll see this blue step input cursor. We can adjust this position with your left and right keys. Let's move it to the start. And from here, we can just punch in our chords one at a time. Super easy. On the chord track, you can select the track to audition with this menu. So we'll choose Lo-Fi Piano, make sure that we're record enabled, and you're good to go. So there you go. That's a quick look at how to use the chord track and chord pads in Cubase to quickly build and customize chord progressions. These tools make it easy to bring your musical ideas to life. Make sure to check out some of our other tutorials on this channel. I hope you found this one useful. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.